Well, this afternoon, 18 new coronavirus cases across 8 Montana counties. Now, the state also releasing the death of a Bighorn County woman that we told you about yesterday. As for the jump in positive cases, 6 of those are in Custer County, which now has a total of 19 active cases, the highest in the state. Gallatin County added 3, pushing its active cases to 8. Bighorn County added 2, now reaching 12 active cases. Flathead and Missoula counties also added 2. Carbon County, Cascade County, and Ravalli County each added 1 new case. The Bighorn County woman was in her 30s, and she became the 20th person to die from COVID-19 complications. Well, Governor Steve Bullock will address the state this afternoon about this increase. We'll have a live report all across all of your MTN stations and Facebook pages. Now, in Wyoming, state health leaders say family members will be able to visit loved ones in nursing homes again. New rules require visits be limited to designated outdoor spaces. Only 2 people at a time can visit, and they will be screened for symptoms. Additionally, a trained staff member will sit in on the visit, and masks are required for everyone. Currently, 191 people are infected with COVID-19 across Wyoming. Well, it may be raining where you are today, but portions of the state are already in the midst of fire season, and fire restrictions are going into place. Yellowstone County is now under Stage 1 fire restrictions, meaning there's no open burning across the county. Now, violating that order could sack you with a $5,000 fine and up to $10,000 for an organization. And in some cases, those disregarding the order could spend up to 6 months in jail. Well, although it's a welcome sight here in south central Montana, there's a lot of rain out there today, Ed.
That's right, especially southern Montana, where we've had areas of snow hitting the higher elevations. The Beartooth Pass heading down into Wyoming on the Wyoming side has been closed since this morning. Look at where everything is right now. We got most of the showers favoring areas from Great Falls southward, and some bands of some heavier rain you can see pushing up from Billings to just north of Miles City here as of this hour. So as we take it through the afternoon and evening, this weather system is going to start to move off towards Canada, but send a reinforcing shot of moisture back across the region tomorrow. So we're not totally out of the woods for the next 36 to 48 hours. Most of the area with at least some accumulations over the next several hours. We'll be talking about that with the forecast details coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, the Senate today approves a sweeping and historic conservation and public lands bill that President Donald Trump has pledged to sign into law. The legislation will fund a backlog of maintenance projects in national parks. It will also permanently fund the Land and Water Conservation Fund at $900 million a year. The Senate approval marks a rare moment of bipartisan unity. The bill was supported by both Republican Senator Steve Daines and Democratic Senator Jon Tester. The House will vote on the matter before it goes to the president. Well, the Missoula County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in finding a girl who's been missing since June 11th. 15-year-old Taylor Watson was reportedly last seen in the Missoula area a week ago. She's described as a white female who is 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 150 pounds. Taylor has brown hair and green eyes. Her nose and lip are pierced. She also has tattoos on her hand and the side of her body. Contact the Missoula County Sheriff's Office with any information. Well, it's been 2 years since Germaine Charlo went missing from Missoula. As MTN's Katie Miller reports, her family is not giving up hope.
God brings hope, and whatever is done in the dark will be brought out in the light.
On June 16, 2018, Germaine Charlo went missing. She was last seen in this area near Orange Street in Missoula. Her disappearance has garnered national attention, and local leaders say they are still looking for answers. Answers that the family says they so badly need.
We never move on.
Charlo's aunt, Valinda Morjo, says they've missed Germaine every single day.
Even if we find her not alive, that we can find whoever killed her to bring them to justice.
Charlo is from Dixon, Montana, and her 25th birthday was in April. She has 2 sons.
Her boys don't know where she is. One day your mom's home and you're so little that you don't understand, like, that she's gone missing, and that you just don't understand, like, why she's not home with you every night.
Charlo has become a face of the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement.
Never stop fighting to bring justice to the women who are gone on. Never stop looking for those loved ones that are still missing.
Local search and rescue group, the Lifeguard Group, has conducted 18 searches for Charlo and has another planned for this Friday.
As days go by, the odds go farther and farther away from our favor. But the fact that she's still missing, the family deserves for us to look.
The Missoula Police Department says it's completed search warrants and interviews and investigated dozens of leads.
It's important for us to find out all we can to provide some closure on this case for this family.
Morjo says the family won't stop looking.
We have to keep searching for her as if she's still alive, and that's our biggest hope, is that when we find her, she's still with us.
In Missoula, Katie Miller, MTN News.
Anyone with any information is asked to call Detective Guy Baker. Now, that Friday search is at 1 p.m. starting at the Evero Bar on Highway 93. A crime spree in Gallatin County is targeting police. Authorities say vandals left threatening messages and stole blue line flags at the homes of officers and their families. Victims include the family of Deputy Jake Allmendinger, who lost his life while trying to help a stranded motorist last October. The Gallatin County Sheriff's Office says this is a disturbing new trend.
If you have a problem with us, then I just met with a person last week face to face so we could actually have a discussion and answer their questions and their concerns and be transparent and explain to them what we do and why we do it. And I mean, that's productive.
Gallatin County Sheriff's deputies say the people responsible could face criminal mischief and theft charges. Well, a battle over the Keystone XL pipeline could be heading to the Supreme Court. The Trump administration is asking the High Court to overturn a ruling from a federal judge in Great Falls saying the pipeline cannot be built through waterways. The administration says the April ruling is too broad and threatens future pipeline development. Meanwhile, the developer is still moving forward with the pipeline near Glasgow. Well, Montanans as a whole aren't stepping up to return their 2020 census, and now leaders say poor response could cost the state more representation in Washington, D.C. Montana barely missed adding a second seat in the U.S. House back in the 2010 census. Many think the state has grown enough to add another seat this year. So far, the return is lacking from rural areas and reservations. Officials say a correct count means more representation at the state and national levels. Well, if you've logged on Facebook recently, you may have gotten a reminder at the top of your homepage to register to vote. Well, it's part of the company's new initiative to boost voter turnout this November. The social media giant is also launching a voting information center on both Facebook and Instagram. It will include details on how to register, polling places near you, and voting by mail. Facebook says the information will come from state election officials. It will be similar to the Coronavirus Information Center that Facebook launched earlier this year. Well, we have more ahead on the new news. A look at how student athletes in between workouts and weights are learning how to stay safe from COVID-19. The time now is 12:08, but first meteorologist Ed McIntosh is in next with your statewide weather forecast.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Welcome back to the new news. Rain totals, these are some estimates that we could be looking at, anywhere from around light rain showers across northeastern Montana and then less into the southeastern corner of the state. And really, we could use more moisture here as things have really started to dry out. Meantime, some of those rain totals could be a bit higher as we start looking through the central portion of the state, where not just one but a couple of bands of rain will start to develop. This is a time lapse around the Billings area from earlier today, and quite frankly, I just thought it was so cool to watch those clouds push in and out and those rain showers start to develop. So this kind of blustery, unsettled weather is what we're going to be looking at here as we start looking into the afternoon. And there's where that band of heavier rain is starting to move out of southern Montana towards the eastern portion of the state, but leaving some of this region drier. But it's also allowing a warm up with temperatures in the 60s to low 70s, Glendive towards Williston, North Dakota. Meantime, we're still struggling in the 40s and 50s in much of central and western Montana. It's only 41 for you in Butte, and that's actually a little cooler than just before the sun came up this morning. Dillon at 42, and then temperatures in the 50s here from Lewistown northward, where clouds and showers will continue to develop. Now you notice a little break in the clouds once we start getting north of Missoula, but there has been some cloudiness and showers starting to move across portions of the region. These bands of little heavier rain, and really it's going to be one of those setups where some of the region is going to continue to see some heavier rain, and then a few miles down the road there's not very much at all. Still looking at a winter weather advisory into effect for the Beartooth Mountains of south central Montana, but the winter storm warnings in southwest Montana have been allowed to expire. Don't take that for granted as far as the travel goes. There still could be some problem areas in some of the mountain passes. So here's one band of heavier rain, and really watching this low pressure area here. You can just watch it rotate around this low that's up into Canada and make this big loop. So as the system continues to launch up into Saskatchewan and Manitoba, it'll start to take the showers with it. Now it's going to leave some of the cooler air around for the rest of today and pull some of that cold air down into western Montana and then shift out of the region heading into tomorrow. Now watch that wave just kind of push through the region. That means a reinforcing shot of showers are possible for Thursday. By Friday, this high pressure area starts to move in, and that's going to bring a shift in the weather pattern going into the weekend, when suddenly we're going to be looking at temperatures beginning to warm and conditions starting to dry. Temperatures today will be in the 50s, 60s to the 70s here as we start looking across eastern Montana into the Dakotas, and we're really not looking for strong to severe storms, but the pockets of heavy rain are certainly possible here or there. Cloud cover will hold back the temperatures through the afternoon today. Overnight temperatures settle down anywhere from the 30s, 40s to some low 50s first thing tomorrow. But here comes that reinforcing wave tomorrow that'll drop down across the region, bringing that chance of showers. But notice that northern Montana, you start to dry out during probably late morning, early afternoon, and then start to see that across southern Montana and northern Wyoming during the evening hours, or at least the late afternoon into the evening. Here's the 3-day outlook. Temperatures will start to try to warm up a little bit here by Friday in western Montana, as the chance of showers will taper off after today. Great Falls and Helena also looking at areas of rain showers 50s, 60s to low 70s over the course of the next 3 afternoons. For southwest Montana, again, a bit of a warm up over the next 3 days. Showers, isolated thunderstorms still in the mix through tomorrow. Glendive and Billings get drier closer to the weekend and also start to warm up. There's a look at the weather. Back to you, Janelle.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, COVID-19 has been difficult for all students, and it's just added another level of hurdles for student athletes. MTN's John Miller tells us what the staff at Montana State is doing to help.
For Montana State University students and athletes, being able to come back to facilities has been an adjustment.
Just learning the protocols, wearing masks while you're working out, all of those different things.
Director of Student Athlete Wellness Aaron Grusonic discussed the impact of recent events such as COVID-19, which forced students and athletes to adjust significantly.
If you don't have a coach or somebody kind of managing your schedule for you, things fall to the wayside pretty quickly. So just helping them get it, have a schedule and keep a schedule that was something that was workable for them.
The Bobcat Wellness team is made up of different faculty members who maintain contact with students through Zoom meetings. They also identified students who might need mental help.
We really had a concerted effort to reach out to the athletes that were kind of falling more silent during those times and making sure they had contacts throughout the week.
It hasn't just been COVID-19 impacting students. Recent events surrounding what happened to George Floyd has inspired students to take the lead.
It's a really good opportunity for us all to sit down and listen to each other, especially listening from our student athletes of color.
The student athlete leaders have had some big and small ideas to bring to the table on how they can make it through and grow during this difficult time.
A newsletter that goes out on a bi-monthly basis that showcases important messages. That can be LGBTQ issues in sports, women in sport issues with Black athletes.
For Grusonic, he knows that it's not just him. It takes a team of professionals on his wellness staff to produce results.
I could help them with some of their mental health issues maybe, but without a team of people, I couldn't really do much more than scratch the surface.
In Bozeman, John Miller, MTN Sports.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, up next, your latest ag news with Lane Nordland. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's this report from the Montana Ag Network.
Welcome back for today's farm and ranch news. If you are or know a teacher who is looking for agriculture-specific curriculum, the American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture is still accepting applications for the White Reinhardt Resource Grant. The program provides grant funds for educators to purchase ag literacy resources from the Ag Foundation store for use in the classroom. By providing the grants, the Foundation for Agriculture hopes to help students gain access to more accurate information about agriculture. All educators can apply. The deadline is coming up June 30th. For more, visit agfoundation.org today. In trade news, exports to China are lagging behind, according to a new study published in Agricultural Economic Insights. Before the trade war a few years back, soybean exports alone accounted for 51% of all U.S. ag exports to China. The first 4 months of 2020, trade with China has been very disappointing, COVID-19 playing a factor into that. Early in 2020, the U.S. and China signed the historic Phase 1 trade agreement that included aggressive purchases of U.S. commodities, but things are slowing down though. In April, purchases of total U.S. ag products approached $4.6 billion exported to China. That is in line with 2019's $4.3 billion figure. Yet pre-trade war levels over the same time period in 2017 totaled $7.1 billion. China's purchases are seasonal though, with a flurry of activity early in the year and late in the fall, so many are hopeful more purchases could be seen later this year. We'll have more after this. Our pandemic has had a huge impact on all aspects of our lives, including our trips to the grocery store. Consumer Watch reporter Mandy Gaither has more on how prices have gone up in those stores.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the price of meat, poultry, fish, and eggs have gone up by 3.7% in the last month, causing consumers to pay more at the grocery store. Beef and veal went up by nearly 11% in May, its largest ever monthly increase. The price of other meats went up even more. Prices for uncooked beef roasts soared 19.5%, and raw beef steak jumped 11.6%. And overall, U.S. pork production was down about 6.2% year over year as of the end of May. Meat prices have been rising as major processing facilities shut down or slowed operations because workers have been getting sick with COVID-19. At the same time, demand for meat in grocery stores has spiked as consumers eat at home more. While plants are opening back up, they're still below pre-pandemic levels right now. Meat wasn't the only type of food that got more expensive. Fresh vegetables were up 1.3%, tomato prices rose nearly 2%, and ice cream also went up by 2.5%. I'm Mandy Gaither.
Consumers are paying less for other grocery items, including coffee and white bread. Those prices have all fallen. But many out in the countryside and the beef community continue to call for the results from investigations into the 4 big meat packers who many believe have manipulated beef prices. That's today's Farm and Ranch News.
All right, thanks so much, Lane. Ed is here to take one more look at that rainy weather out there.
Yeah, we got showers around the area, and there'll be a story for today, tonight, and tomorrow. It really depends a lot what part of the viewing area you're in. We'll look for Kalispell, Missoula. Still showers, some isolated thunderstorms over the next couple of days, but things really start to dry out by Friday. Great Falls and Helena, same story. The bulk of the moisture is today, tonight. Lingering showers will press through the region tomorrow, and then you'll start to dry out in the afternoon. Butte and Bozeman, it's been chilly, but things will start to warm up in the next few days. Glendive and Billings, a chance of showers the next couple of afternoons.
Have a great afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.